Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're specifically going to talk about Stranger Things Season 1, Episode 2, The Weirdo on Maple Street from the context of a Dungeon Master's viewing. All right, so it's really fascinating. So at this point, Will Byers is gone, right? And so we get this fantastic scene where they find where Jim Hopper has been cajoled. That's the best word to say it. Cajoled by Joyce Byers. She's like, my son is missing. You're gonna get off your lazy duff and you're gonna go find him. And this is really important. Jim Hopper is actually a that's a really good question. Is Jim Hopper a good guy? Or did he literally go look for Will Byers because he has a strong attraction to Joyce Byers? I never really thought about that. I really, really like the Jim Hopper character, but there is a possibility he's a pure garbage human, right? And that everything he does to save Will Byers is not out of the duty of his position as sheriff, not out of human, care for another missing human being, but simply driven by an attraction to Joyce Byers. That's dark, man. But Stranger Things is an incredibly um, dark story. So, all right. So at this point, the Hawkins law enforcement cadre, right? Like the police department. That is, and actually, is it police? Because he's a sheriff, and then he has deputies. Are sheriffs the same as deputies? That's really interesting. I do know sheriff is elected. The sheriff is elected in towns. Very, very fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. I'm really fascinated by the law enforcement structure of Hawkins, Indiana. So at this point, Sheriff Hopper is leading the entire town, like not the entire town, but every caring citizen in Hawkins is in the woods looking for Will Byers. Right now, the Duffer Brothers make I. So as a dungeon master, okay, I did this dungeon master viewing. Stranger Things is it to me at its deepest, most profound, most foundational level. Stranger Things is a story about Dungeons and Dragons. And what it's saying is that you cannot, as a human being, you cannot skip Dungeons and Dragons. And the reason why is if you skip Dungeons and Dragons, you will be a lost muggle in a wizard world, right? And that's what we're seeing. Jim Hopper has literally 50 Hawkins people walking in lines in the woods looking for Will Byers. They're never going to find him. It's a waste of every single person's time. And the reason why is Jim Hawkins is a muggle. He does not understand that he lives in a supernatural world. Now, we, Dungeon Masters, and we as Dragon Masters, we 100% know that we're living in a supernatural world. How do we know that, right? Well, the way that Dungeons & Dragons establishes this is Dungeons & Dragons in 1974 and in 2024 has said, oh, do you believe that the world doesn't have gods? You're wrong. Every single realm has gods. Every single realm has gods. If you believe in an unsupernatural world, unnatural world, you're a ridiculous fool. Look at the magic. Look at the clerics. We live in a supernatural world. Gary was saying that to every dungeon master in 1974, and Amanda Heyman, in my humble opinion, is saying that to every single dungeon master and every dragon master in 2024. So is Jeremy Crawford. So is Christopher Perkins. They're like, hey, you're right. This is the biggest question of our world. Is it supernatural or is it natural? And Dungeons and Dragons' answer has always been, it's supernatural, right? And you can see this beautiful picture in Stranger Things where it's showing if you don't understand that the world is supernatural, you are a ridiculous fool and you will spend your time, you will waste every moment of your time looking for a boy in the forest who's not there. He's in the upside down, this a supernatural realm, and all your time is wasted. And you're a ridiculous fool. You just don't know it, right? You're a muggle in a wizard world, right? And that's what the Duffer Brothers are saying. They're saying, do not waste your time being a ridiculous Jim Hopper, right? Who has to be dragged to reality by children, right? By children, who has to be shown reality by children. And those children understand reality. And not only have an understand have reality, but have a tool to literally deal with every crisis, natural and supernatural, because of Dungeons and Dragons. Like, once you understand what the Duffer Brothers are really saying, that the entire four seasons of Stranger Things has simply been saying, do not waste your time as a muggle in a wizard world. Realize the world is supernatural, and realize you will never, ever, ever understand this world if you are not running and playing Dungeons and Dragons. You have no ability, no tools to solve either natural or supernatural crises. And if you're a capable adult and you haven't played Dungeons and Dragons, you're a ridiculous, useless fool. And if you're a child who has played, who's played 10-hour sessions of Dungeons and Dragons, every single threat in this world can be toppled by you like dominoes. That is a incredible, profound statement from the Duffer Brothers, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Absolutely nothing more and absolutely nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.